Hello everyone. Have you ever had that heart-stopping moment at the checkout, realizing you left your entire wallet at home? Or that awkward pause when you see a cash-only sign? Just imagine, before this convenient world where a single card tap or a smartphone swipe solves everything, how did our parents and grandparents manage? Did they perhaps carry a small vault in their pockets at all times? Today, we're going on a fascinating journey back in time to uncover how this magical piece of plastic, the credit card, was born. You can put your wallets away for now. Today, the story will cover the bill. That's right. Today, we're delving into the origin story of that little hero in our wallets, the credit card. It feels as natural as air to us now, but the emergence of the credit card was a truly world-changing innovation. Especially for our viewers aged 50 and over, you've lived through the dramatic evolution of finance, from an era dominated by cash and checks to the arrival of plastic cards, and now to digital payments. Understanding the changes this small card brought to our spending habits and the fun stories behind it will make today's convenience feel even more remarkable. So let's rewind time. Before credit cards, how did people buy things? Back then, ATMs weren't on every corner, and banking was a cumbersome process. Most transactions were made in cash. Imagine the anxiety and inconvenience of carrying wads of cash for large purchases. Of course, there was also store credit or running a tab. At your local neighborhood store, you could say, "Put it on my tab, I'll pay you later, and take your goods." This was based purely on personal trust. But for the store owner, it must have been a constant worrying whether they'd get paid and when. And travel, that was a major headache. In a different city or country, there was no easy way to prove your creditworthiness, so you had to carry a hefty sum of cash. You might as well have said, "No cash, no travel." Amidst this inconvenience, people began to wonder, isn't there a more convenient and safer way to make transactions? And right at this juncture, a legendary story begins. The year is 1949, New York City. A businessman named Frank McNamara was having dinner with clients. The atmosphere was convivial, the meal delightful. But when it came time to pay the bill, oh dear, he'd left his wallet in another suit. Can you imagine how awkward that must have been? In front of important clients, he ended up calling his wife to bring him cash. But McNamara didn't just brush off this embarrassing experience. Isn't there a way to solve this kind of humiliation and inconvenience? He pondered. A year later, he and his partners introduced a historic item to the world, the Diners Club card. As the name suggests, it was initially a card for paying restaurant bills. They issued a small paper card along with a list of participating establishments. Members could dine using the card. Diners Club would pay the restaurant first and then bill the members later. This was the very first modern charge card. The forgotten wallet incident led to a world-changing invention. The success of Diners Club was explosive. People no longer needed to carry wads of cash. They could dine in style with a single card. Soon, companies like American Express started similar services, and banks began issuing their own cards. Think of Bank of America's Bank Americard and the MasterCharge card from a consortium of banks, now known as MasterCard. The success of Diners Club was explosive. People no longer needed to carry wads of cash. They could dine in style with a single card. Soon, companies like American Express started similar services, and banks began issuing their own cards. Think of Bank of America's Bank Americard and the MasterCharge card from a consortium of banks, now known as MasterCard. In a way, the seize the day, and by now, pay later. Lifestyles might have just started with this single card. So, what do you think? Isn't it fascinating that Frank McNamara's little moment of forgetfulness led to the creation of an everyday essential in our wallets? An idea born from one person's inconvenience transformed the lifestyles of billions worldwide. Of course, credit cards didn't only bring convenience. There's a darker side, like overspending and debt issues. But we can't deny that credit cards have offered us financial flexibility and new opportunities. Even if we're short on cash, we can buy what we need immediately or cover unexpected expenses. Behind the convenience we take for granted today, there's such an interesting history and the thoughtful considerations of many people. What are your earliest memories associated with the credit card? Or do you have any special experiences from the time before credit cards were common? Please share them in the comments below. Your stories could spark another fascinating piece of content. If you found today's story informative and enjoyable, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next dive into intriguing facts. Thanks for watching. See you next time with another exciting story.